What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 3. This is going to be one of those Division 1-2 matches to determine who is going to be in Division 1 for Season 4 and who is going to remain in Division 2. It's going to be a best of 3 between the Argentinian Rejects and Pain Gaming with quite a few stand-ins, but that's fine. Here on HeflaTV 2, we're going to be bringing you the action. I'm Mike Loris, and I'm joined by Grandis V.
Yeah, as far as the stand-in situation for Pain Gaming, I actually don't know either of these two players. QQQ, I think I've seen him around in like 1 or 2 games standing in for some of these South American teams, but Billy might just be a completely random guy. I have no idea.
I mean, his name is generic enough. It could literally just be anyone, and even his picture, it's just Billy. Like, that's kind of weak. But Pain Gaming, they actually just won the Brazil Game Cup with, of course, their full lineup, so they're looking pretty good. And Argentinian Rejects, Algodonchin, Awareness, those are the 2 names that I really recognize from them. But other than that, I think Pain Gaming just have overall stronger players outside of their stand-ins.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The middle 3, I haven't actually seen Argentinian Rejects play with them, but it looks like they're on the official roster, although I have no idea. I haven't actually seen Argentinian Rejects play all that much, so I'm not incredibly familiar with who's actually playing with them. I'll go ahead and look that up now. But as far as the bands are looking pretty standard. We're going to see a first pick Ogre Magi from Argentinian Rejects, which I absolutely love seeing, although maybe not in this first pick slot. Either way, Ogre Magi, a really nice aggressive support that you can get a lot of things done with.
Yeah, the more you roam, the better off you're going to be, and it is already going to give them a nice setup stun, which, you know, they may want to build off of, pick up someone who could benefit off of that, or they're just fine with a stun in itself. I mean, you're never going to be upset that you have too many stuns. Pain Gaming, they're going to respond to its Ogre with Sand King plus a Bat Rider, so, you know, just overall strong picks being secured for each side. Bat Rider, Sand King, really, they're fairly common, so there's nothing too weird going on here. Maybe they're going to be playing this a little bit passively. The jungle is definitely going to be very important for Pain, for both Sand King and the Bat Rider.
Yeah, both of those heroes rely fairly heavily on getting those stacks in order to get their Blink Daggers up at a good timing, especially if it's an offlane Bat Rider. If it's in mid, the Blink Dagger can come with or without jungle stacks, but if you have them on top of the mid farm that you get playing the Bat Rider in that position, you can get a very fast Blink Dagger, and with it, you can make a lot happen around the map. Pain Gaming are going to be very reliant on those items, but they're still pretty solid picks in and of themselves. It's always nice to have more heroes to jump in.
Alright, so we do see 1 melee support being picked up on either side. That means the range supports are going to be at a premium, and, well, when we're talking about range supports, it's hard to not mention the Skywrath Mage, which I'm pretty sure Argentinian Rejects are considering right now. I mean, if they don't pick it up and if they don't ban it, then Pain Gaming are certainly going to secure that one. It's very rare that we see the Skywrath getting this far in the draft, and, you know, it's only the first or the second stage of the first pick, but he's going to be involved in this ban pick stage in some way, and if not, then that's just going to be one of the most surprising things for me.
Definitely, especially since he synergizes very well with both the Sand King and the Ogre Jai. I think it would work pretty well on both sides. Slark, the pick from Argentinian Rejects, is, I don't know, fairly questionable to see him this early on. They already have a large amount of lockdown for this Slark, and as you mentioned earlier, Skywrath Mage is going to be the first ban, the second banning stage. This Slark pick still feels very peculiar. You can purge off the lasso as well as the Bro Strike if your timing's good enough, but honestly that's pretty hard to pull off. He's decent at counter-initiating after a Bat Rider if he has a Blink Dagger of his own, but other than that, I don't really see anything in this draft that really begs a Slark pick.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, Bloodlust on Slark is a nice little combo, I suppose, for Argentinian Rejects, but that's about it. Really, the best way to kill Slark is by either burst or surprise, ideally both, but Bat Rider definitely has the element of surprise most of the time, and if Sand King charges up an Epicenter and lands a Burst Strike after he gets a Blink Dagger or something like that, then it could very easily bring down a Slark, and as you said, Slark is a hero that you could very easily pick up 4th or 5th, so It's Argentinian Rejects placing a lot of priority around this hero, and they are going to be looking to be very aggressive this game. When you pick up a Slark Ogre Magi, you're not going to be sitting back and farming. But I think this is just them showing their hand a little bit too early. This is going to prompt Pain to ban out a Centaur, and it's another melee hero, but they are going to try to stem this aggression coming out from the Argentinian Rejects.
Yeah. Another ban that I'd like to see Pain Gaming consider is taking out the Vengeful Spirit away from Argentinian Rejects, as it would offer another nice play stun, as well as the defensive swaps up against the Batrider, and it would also fuel their aggression pretty easily as well. The extra damage synergizes nicely with Slark, as well as the minus armor. I don't really see anything bad about that hero for Argentinian Rejects. I'm not sure if there's a better support for them.
Yeah, and it's ranged also, so you get a ranged stun, and then another ranged stun, and then a pounce, so whole lot of pain that well, Pain Gaming are gonna have to deal with if they don't ban out that hero. They do have the first pick after this ban stage, so maybe they're not going to ban it. Instead, they're going to pick it up for themselves. In which case, that's also pretty good. I mean, when you're dealing with Slark, you want to have vision on him and you want to keep him in range. And the Vengeful Spirit wave plus the swap are great tools at dealing with the Slark, assuming your Vengeful Spirit doesn't outright die.
Yeah, which can happen, especially if you start out from behind. It is going to be a Legion Commander ban, actually, and Pain Gaming pick up the Tidehunter. I think this is pretty much a no-brainer Vengeful Spirit pick for Argentinian Rejects. Ogre Magi and Venge aren't the best at zoning out a Tidehunter with their right clicks, but they definitely could kill him with just the vast amount of lockdown those three heroes have between them. I still think it's a solid pick.
Yeah, I would agree. It's pretty much no-brainer. Versus Batrider, if that was just like the only two heroes in this game, just Batrider, oh, you probably want a Vengeful Spirit to deal with that. Pain, they are going to get a Tidehunter, which right now is a very solid pick. It is going to be a little bit of a heavy melee game, as both sides already have two melee heroes each, and that's really where Tidehunter is going to shine. If he does end up 1v1 against a Slark for any period of time, then the Tidehunter is pretty much going to walk all over that lane. So it's a pretty easy matchup there for Pain. But I don't know, this is prioritizing the team fight initiation very highly over what Argentinian Rejects have, and they're going to go for an AA instead. I mean, he's a pretty good hero still. Like, you get a nice setup, so maybe you're going to proc Cold Feet, and if you get Chilling Touch on Slark, he could demolish people, but I just think the VS is just so much more powerful.
Yeah, I do too as well. Although Chilling Touch is almost never bad, it's not the greatest situation for it either. Neither Slark or the Ogre are ranged, and although they do have the Fire Blast and Pounce to hold people in place, outside of that, I don't know. It'll be nice for them, and Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is always going to be a nice tool to have on your side. Pain Gaming are going to go ahead and pick up the Dazzle right now. They need something a lot more hard-hitting. They have an abundance of initiation, as well as some decent magic damage from the Sand King, but outside of that, they have nothing that's going to carry this game late, and they don't really have a great way to go aggressive early on. They need something that's going to benefit from the space created by the Blink Daggers that will come out from Pain Gaming.
I think this game for Pain is going to be one where they look to pick up either the Spectre or Medusa, one of those turbo carries that really just need really passive early starts, and they really don't want to be doing that much. Argentinian Rejects are actually going to pick up the Morphling, which is, I think, a little bit weird. I mean, Pain Gaming, they have a couple of disables, but most of their really heavy-hitting disables are ultimates, so I suppose you could get away with this pick, but I thought they would be going a little bit more aggressive than this. Morphling, though he can play aggressively, you generally want him to get a little bit more farm. I mean, he kind of is the odd one out right now for Argentinian Rejects, but hell, as long as they could punish what Pain Gaming have right now, which is just a super turtly, super defensive lineup, then it really doesn't matter what they pick. It's all going to be in the play style.
Yeah. Right now, the Morphling kind of makes the Ancient Apparition pick a little bit more, it makes a little bit more sense to me, at least, as the Ancient Apparition would have been really nice to have up against the Morphling, and would also benefit from having the stun from the Sand King, and we still haven't seen the carry from Pain Gaming. Argentinian Rejects, their lanes are going to be a little bit peculiar. We're probably going to be seeing a mid-Morphling and a safe lane farming Slark, but they could just go straight up aggressive with one of those heroes and pick up a third hero to solo the safe lane. Right now, it's Pain Gaming's turn to show their cards. Spectre has been banned out from them, and I think the Medusa is probably your best bet as far as picks are concerned.
Yeah, I would agree. Medusa, maybe an anti-mage. Burning out Slark or Morphling's mana pool is going to be very useful, and Argentinian Rejects have quite a bit of magic damage, so that might be another way to go. Keeping himself very safe with the Dazzle backup, and he's never going to have to initiate a fight just by blinking in. He'll have Tide, Sand King, and Batrider all to back him up, so any one of those agility carries should be what Pain Gaming are going to look to pick up, because they have, as you said, a lot of magic damage, but if it does go into a late game scenario, Morphling and Slark are going to be 100% in control. Like, doesn't really matter what Pain Gaming have at that point. So, yeah, Pain, they're gonna have to find some sort of carry. And Argentine Rejects, they're gonna look for one more core. They know for the most part that the mid lane should be Batrider, and that is actually a lane that Slark wants to be matched up in. So that should be what Argentine Rejects are gonna look to match up, and it's gonna be a PA in the end. It's a decent enough turbo carry, but I don't really know.
I don't like it. It seems like an awkward middle ground. If they were going to go for the Dusa, I would have liked to see something like a Clinks. Even though it doesn't have the 1v5 potential, once they get the Blink Daggers on everything, the aggressive potential from Pain is going to be pretty huge. But Phantom Assassin isn't going to get that big boost of power. She'll probably be forced into going for a BKB this game. And I don't know, a BKB first Phantom Assassin still needs a little bit more to come online, and then when she does come online, she's going to be facing up against a Slark and a Morphling that are probably going to have a decent amount of farm, and it's not going to be a clear-cut win for Pain Gaming in the late game. Although they have a huge advantage when it comes to initiation, I'm not sure that's going to matter much, as Morphling and Slark are fairly elusive carries if they're able to avoid the likes of Batrider initiation. The last pick for AR is going to be a Silencer. It's going to be pretty nice for them, disjointing the initiation coming out from Pain, but I'm still on the fence about this hero right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Phantom Assassin Blur is certainly going to be very useful against a late game Morphling and a late game Slark. Like, if you get into a man fight with those guys, then Blur is pretty much going to just win it for you. But this Silencer is actually a fantastic pick, I think, from Argentine Rejects. Pain Gaming have a lot of team fight with the Tidehunter Sand King, and it's team fight that you can potentially stop, especially if you somehow see the Sand King channeling his epicenter, then a Global Silence completely screws him over. Where he's going to go in this game as far as lanes are concerned, it looks like he's going to be played in a core role, and I hope he does. So, core Silencer, it's food for the Phantom Assassin for sure. Like, that matchup is not good for the Silencer by any means. But if he gets a little bit going, then I could see him doing quite a bit for his team.
Fair enough. As always with Silencer, it's all focused on the global silence timing. If it's on point, it's a wonderful hero. If it's meh, you would be better served picking up a different character here. On the Radiant side, we are going to have Argentinian Rejects, and their lineup is going to be made of the Slark, played by Algadonchen, currently inside the base. Not sure exactly where he's going to be landing as it stands. Our other chords are going to be Chorizo on the Morphling, and Silencer, handled by Lubia. The support's M3 on the Ogre Magi, and we're going to have an HE apparition handled by Awareness.
On the Pain Gaming side, Billy is going to be playing the Batrider, currently heading towards mid lane, kind of to be expected. QQQ is going to be on the Tidehunter. I don't think that's the Chinese player. ADR is going to be playing the Phantom Assassin, going up towards top with Ned on the Dazzle, and the Sand King being played by Baga. So, yeah, I think Argentine Rejects, though they can take this very, very late, I think it'll actually be better if they go aggressive and try to get in under Pain before they get their Blink Daggers, because Blink on the Bat, the Tide, and the Sand King, those are the items that let Pain Gaming actually do things. Without those items, they're going to really struggle to get their initiation, even though they have technically good initiation heroes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. In the early portion of the game, I'd say for the first 10 minutes, I like Argentinian Rejects going aggressive. Then once the Blink Daggers come out, play passive a little bit until they get a couple of core items, like a Lincoln Sphere on the Morphling, Blink, BKB, something along those likes on the Slark, maybe even just a straight up Scotty or Manta, something, just any big items for their cores. And then they can start going aggressive again after, hopefully, they don't get caught out too much, at least for the side of Argentinian Rejects, by these Blink Daggers that will probably come out between 9 and 12 minutes, depending on the hero.
I don't really know. Did they actually buy two couriers?
No, no,
Looks
no,
like,
no, no. What happened is the lobby on Dota TV doesn't have delay,
oh.
so we have to remake.
God damn, we had so much time to fix an error like that. Okay, well, guys, here we go. HeflaTV 2. Okay, so, 40 minutes late, we're done with the draft. That's, pretty slow.
It really is. Like, this is worse than the land delays we had yesterday. Or not even yesterday. Yesterday was wonderful for the Thailand Championship. The day before.
Oh, yeah, yesterday was just game after game after game, pretty much all
perfect.
on right when they were supposed to start. It was the Brazil Game Cup. That was a freaking nightmare. That was terrible.
Yeah. That was quite something. Okay. Looks like the password's been leaked.
Guys. Well, the password was extremely secure. It was very random. Kick them all.
Kick. They're being kicked.
There we go. Okay. I think we're happy now. I think we
Oh no, it was somebody's party. Why are you in a party when you're going into a professional game? Like, I don't understand.
because the party don't stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop this recording.
It's ever been in the sight of pain.
Oh, I did. I introduced the crap out of them. It was great.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
Okay.
so into the game we go.
Yeah, maybe we're actually gonna play this game, and we'll see how these heroes are actually loading out into their lanes. Oh man, Billy, he is actually having a different item build, and he's going to a completely different lane. This is I think this is like, I don't want to say bad-mannered. It's just like, I don't know. What's
It's
the
bad-mannered.
phrase?
I don't know. It's
Bad
questionable.
sportsmanship?
Bad sportsmanship,
There it is.
maybe? I'm not even sure if it's that. Like, it's just so...
It's a dick
iffy.
move. You just want to
Yeah, there we go.
colloquially just call it out as it is.
That's pretty much it. I'm not sure if there's any other proper way to call it. We have a huge rotation coming out from the Radiant as they have the Ogre, Ancient Apparition, as well as Silencer, running very aggressively in the enemy jungle. They are going to put an end to the large stacks, at least for the first 4 minutes of the game on the Dire side, as well as the medium stacks. This is going to really slow down, especially the Batrider's farm.
Yeah, we mentioned how Pain Gaming are very reliant on the jungle. Sand King and Batrider both are going to need those jungle camps in order to get their items up, and by items I mean Blink Dagger mostly. So this rotation in from Argentine Rejects, I don't know if they were going to do it in the first game, but it's certainly going to be useful for them now. These are only sentries, so they're not going to last that long. However, an Observer Ward is going to be blocking the pull camp as well. So right now, Argentinian Rejects have pretty much complete map control over Pain's jungle. Like, they have vision wards everywhere, observers everywhere, and then sentries blocking off the camps. And Pain are going to have to deal with this. The Sand King, with the Dazzle, can't actually just go around and gank people. Even though he does have brown boots, Sand King needs someone with a little bit more of a hard setup. And really, Dazzle isn't going to cut it. And, well, Dazzle isn't even near him. So Baga is going to be the nomadic Sand King for now.
Yeah. And the Sand King, he might just end up farming the enemy jungle. It's, I don't know, questionable. But there's nobody on the side of Argentinian Rejects that can really abuse jungle farm at this point in the game. Morphling, once he has more points up in the wave form, can, but at this point, it's not great. The lane matchups are actually very peculiar, as in Morphling, or in mid, we have Morphling versus Tidehunter. Bottom's a little bit more standard. It's Slark is currently being aggressed upon by Baga as well as the Batrider. I think he's going to survive out of this, but he went for Dark Pact level 1. He's going to cast it, and that's going to drop him incredibly low. Now Algadonshin gets the first blood as the tower shots are going to lay into the Batrider, then leap away from these creeps. He might end up falling here. No, the melee creep's not going to do enough damage and ends up going back into the lane. Slark just playing Ring Around the Rosies as the Batrider kills himself to the tower.
Yeah, the Slark got just out of range of the Firefly, even though Batrider does have boots. So I don't exactly know how that happened, but it definitely did, as Algodonshin being able to pack out all the stacks of the Napalm got him out of harm's way. Like, if he wasn't able to do that, like, mechanically as a hero, he was screwed. But, you know, just the Slark versus Batrider matchup, I said that that's one that the Slark does like. He's probably going to be going for a Magic Wand early on, as against Batrider, you usually do that on any hero. Slark is going to benefit so much more, because not only do the Napalm stacks fill up his mana pool and health, but he could also just get rid of the Napalm stack. So this is going to be a very favorable matchup for Argentinian Rejects, just as is. Getting first blood just makes it so much better.
Definitely. Right now, we're going to get back into this game. The Sand King's rotation is going to be unfruitful, but Baga's still sticking around here. Level 1, still on the Sand King. It's unlikely that they'll be able to kill off the Slark, although he is fairly low on mana at this point. Doesn't have a leap as well as the Dark Pact available, and Sand King is going to make his way towards the 2-minute rune. It's going to be bounty spawning for him, and he will pick it up.
That's a little bit unfortunate, but I don't think Baga's it's really going to matter. I mean, even if he had a haste rune, killing off the Slark would pretty much involve tower diving, and we already saw how well that works. So Sand King's going to try to apply this pressure, which is, I guess, nice for Baga, as if he was up on the top lane, he would be even more useless, but he's not really doing that much right now. So Baga as Sand King is not going to have a great time, because Argentinian Rejects, they have top lane pretty much on lockdown. Like, PA can get a couple kills with Stifling Dagger, but for the most part, Lubia is going to be able to farm this very comfortably, and there's nothing that Pain can really do about this with their supports. These supports need Blink Daggers. Hell, the rest of Pain need Blink Daggers as well. Without them, it's not going to happen. Algodonshin on the bottom lane is in quite a bit of trouble. He does have quite a few sticks, but he's not going to be able to use them. I think he had a split second, maybe. It was very close, but he does go down in the bottom lane.
He had time to pop those sticks and pounce away. I'm not sure why he didn't. Like, yeah. I really don't understand that. I think he probably would have fallen either way, but it would have made it a lot more dangerous with Batrays in mid. Tidehunter is going to be jumped upon by the Morphling, but not much that Chorizo can do. Now going to be returned by a Gush. This Tidehunter shouldn't be able to get this skill. He's going to eat an Anchor Smash. A lot of harass towards the Morphling. This Tidehunter is doing spectacularly well up against Chorizo. Currently 18-1 compared to the 10-1 of the Morph.
Even though Morphling is technically a range hero, the range that he operates in is a range that Tidehunter is capable of anchor smashing, so it's pretty much just a melee versus melee matchup for Tidehunter, and we all know how well those go for the Tide, and he's going to be very happy about that. Like, every single time he wants to, his anchor smash is going to land on the Morphling, and though Morphling can get to quite large amounts of base damage, he's going to need to have a lot of agility for that, and that means that he's going to be very vulnerable to the anchor smashes. So this is actually a really nice switch up for Pain. It obviously wouldn't have been the case with the first game, as Batrider would have been in here. It's still a decent situation for the Bat, but definitely a lot better for that Tidehunter. ADR on top is potentially going to be a little bit of trouble, but actually the AA doesn't have any cold feet. I don't know if you get cold feet in this lane, but it definitely would have helped.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at least 1 point to force them out of that area would have been enough. I'm not sure if you need to really invest very heavily into it. He's going to be prioritizing Chilling Touch, which I think is the most peculiar choice that you can go for. Extra damage is kind of nice on the Silencer as well as the Ogre, but I'm not sure if it's worth forgoing the extra potential of Disable.
I don't think they have enough sticking power in order to really make use of the Chilling Touch. I mean, it's certainly good, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ice Vortex would have been a little bit better if it lets your Silencer hit a couple more times. And when your Silencer is going to be getting core amounts of farm, then you want his glaives to be flowing as often as you can. Still in the bottom lane, Algodonchin, he's going to get jumped upon, but he's going to pounce out and then debuff all of those stacks of tar. I think that one kill on the Slark was pretty much a fluke. He shouldn't be going down unless he's very seriously going to get tower dived. And that might happen as Baga arming up another Burrow Strike. It's only level 1. He's got level 2 Sandstorm. Algodonchin is going to pack out that stun and then pounce away. Baga, taking tower aggro, will very quickly lose it. But Algodonchin, he's getting quite a bit of experience right now. Once he hits level 6, I don't think he's going to die anymore. Or even be in trouble dying.
Yeah, definitely. Radiant structures were fortified there. It's not the biggest of issues, but it's going to be wasted. I don't think there's really much pushing power coming out from Pain to where they'd be able to actually capitalize on that. Right now we're, I don't know, just waiting for something to happen, and that potentially could happen with a rotation from the Tidehunter with level 6. He's putting a lot of damage in Chorizo, and without the waveform, Tidehunter potentially could have gone for that kill. He had enough mana for Ravage as well as an Anchor Smash. That would have done in the Morphling, although he does have plenty of mana to Morph Strength.
Yeah, so Morphling probably isn't going to die in this lane, although if the Tidehunter does catch him at a poor time, hit him with Anchor Smash straight into Ravage, into Gush, that is really the only way I see QQQ of getting that kill. Or if he gets like a double damage or haste rune or something like that. Billy's going to find a haste rune, but I don't really think it's going to be useful. Algodonchin's not going to die to Batrider at this stage, so unfortunately haste rune not going to be very worth it. But Baga, off of those rotations and just general stickiness on the bottom lane, he's going to find himself with level 2 Sandstorm, and Ned has been stacking the jungle up pretty highly once these sentries have timed out. So the Sand King's going to reap the benefits. He's going to clear a double stack, and then he has another double stack right above him. So the Sand King, a very slow start for sure, but he's going to try to recover. And if he gets his Blink Dagger, then he can make a very decent recovery.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Right now, the Silencer pretty much has the lane control completely in his favor, 38-7. Compared to the PA's farm of 15-0, every once in a while, 4DR is able to get a CS with the Stifling Dagger, but outside of that, Phantom Assassin isn't able to do much. Although PA is still getting the levels and isn't dying, so it's not the worst for Pain, but it's not the best either.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see the Ogre Magi AA play a lot more aggressively. Like, while the creep wave is over here, have your supports be more in this area, just trying to start fights just by themselves. Like, what can Dazzle do about this? He could definitely heal and make it so that you won't get a kill, but you're also not going to be dying, and that's pretty much worth it. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Lubia getting a lot of farm, and with the build that he's gone for, Curse of the Silent is not a skill that you get against a Phantom Assassin if you're actually planning on killing her. This is indication of an Aghanims build on Silencer. And, I mean, it's pretty good on Silencer for sure, but I don't know if I like just straight rushing that type of item.
Ravage was spent mid. Chorizo was able to morph strength enough. His QQQ didn't get enough harass previously on the Morphling to get that kill, and now it's going to be very heavily aggressed upon. But the Morphling also can't secure that kill. Tidehunter pretty darn tanky and had some bottle charges as well as tangos, and that was the only waveform Morphling had available. So nothing's going to happen off of that first Ravage, which is unfortunate for Pain. They probably would have liked to have a rotation come out. And speaking of rotations, Ogre down in bottom is going to force the Batrider out of lane, although they don't get the kill onto Billy.
Haste Rune Batrider is really hard to kill. There's really no way to secure that one unless you land the perfect pounce, and unfortunately the Slark did miss his, so the Batrider did use his first lasso. That was first lasso, first Ravage, and well, they don't really get anything for it. So unfortunately for Pain, they are going to be on the short end of that stick. Phantom Assassin taking quite a bit of damage. This is a level 1 Curse of the Silence, and with Ned, yeah, those heals are going to keep the Phantom Assassin alive. Lubia, though, putting out quite an amount of damage. His last word is legit. Billy is now going to rotate down bottom, but I don't know if they have enough lockdown for this. They don't have a lasso. They have to stick on someone. I think the Ancient Apparition is going to go down. Yeah, the Phantom Assassin is going to make short work of him. Can they get Lubia? He has 2 stacks of tar. I think this is going to be just enough damage. Without the lockdown needed, they just have so much sustained damage from 40 ADR as well as Billy. That's going to be a double kill for Pain up on the top lane, and it was very easy for them.
Yeah, it definitely was, and the first successful rotation coming up from Pain is going to be a pretty big one, as that Silencer is a very important bounty, as he had pretty much complete free farm, as well as all of the levels that he could want. Silencer does buy up the Staff of Wizardry before falling, so he doesn't lose that much gold, but it's a big bone to be throwing towards Pain. The Batrider, currently sitting on 1,000 gold, it could be a lot better towards his Blink Dagger, but his early landing stage started out after him giving up First Blood, and after that, he's been able to do a decent job of recovery.
Yeah, he is approaching his Blink Dagger, definitely not the fastest, but he'll have that one eventually. The Sand King is actually doing remarkably well, 1,900 gold on him. He'll have 2,000 shortly enough, and then it's only a short leap away until he has his Blink Dagger completed. So Baga will be able to apply some pressure, and we see that Pain, even without their Blink Daggers, they're able to get these small opportunities to apply some aggression on Argentinian rejects, especially on top lane, where I think they're just being a little bit too comfortable. I mean, when you have 9 minutes of uncontested farm, you're like, oh, this should be the case for the next minute or so, and on a certain point, it's not going to be true. Teresa over on mid lane is taking quite a bit of damage, walking into Firefly, but he will be fine. Morphling, he's holding on to 1,000 gold as well. Has the Bottle Ring of Aquila, pretty standard stuff for the Morphling, but I think Argentinian rejects eventually need to make rotations with some of their heroes. The Ogre, AA, the Slark, they have to be moving around. Otherwise, Pain are going to be just fine with the status quo as they get closer to their Blink Daggers.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the item that Slark's saving up for as well, but it's not going to come out at the greatest time. His Phantom Assassin kills off the AA up in top. With nobody else in the lane, Phantom Assassin was able to do quick work of her, Ancient Apparition, I suppose. Looks like it was just a coup de grace.
Yeah, and those do some pretty serious damage. 3 armor in AA is pretty decent, but his health pool is pretty crap, so nothing really you could do about that one. And he's going to go right back up to the top lane. This is pretty bold from him, as Phantom Assassin is capable of doing that right now. Like, the PA doesn't actually have many items at all. Like, she doesn't have anything that really helps her aside from power treads, but hell, if you are lucky with those crits, you're going to get those kills. And now we see the rotation from Argentinian rejects with the exact heroes that I expected to rotate. Slark does have a blink, I believe. No, he is actually going to go for a Shadow Blade, and he's getting blocked by the Ogre. So this is the slowest smoke gank of all time, but they're going to wrap around eventually and try to go for Billy. They need the Fire Blast to land, and if it does, I think they get the kill, but if they somehow mess that up, then the Batrider should be able to Firefly away. Rotation from Ned and Baga might be coming in as well, so Billy is going to get Fire Blasted, and the Pounce is for sure going to land. Billy is so screwed, and yeah, TP is going to be cancelled. Tidehunter with Ravage would have helped if he was there, but he wasn't.
Yeah. The Sand King was, in the meantime, making a rotation down towards bottom, but nobody was actually there for him to jump on. So after getting a fairly early Blink Dagger on Baga, the first minute of that Blink Dagger doesn't amount to anything, and it's going to just be a straight-up win for Argentinian rejects, costing the Batrider quite a decent sum of gold as he is saving up for his Blink.
And up on top, ADR is going to be in a little bit of trouble, but once again, the Slark is being blocked by the Ogre Magi. Like, obviously you do want the Fire Blast to land first, but hell, if you could land a Pounce, then you might as well just go ahead and land that skill. So, aggression attempt up on top lane. It's not going to result in anything, but hell, they're going to try to apply pressure where they can. Ice Blast is going to fly and hit onto Ned. This is not the fastest level 6 on AA, but it is going to give Argentinian rejects quite a lot more killing power. And, yeah, they are going to be secure as far as that is concerned. So this is pretty much where they're going to hit their stride. And boom, top lane, Epicenter, as well as Burrow Strike onto the Slark, and he's not going to stand a snowball's chance in hell. ADR with Baga are going to secure that kill. That's the first use of the Blink Dagger, and getting a kill on the Slark, that's the best thing you could ask for.
Pretty much. 40R didn't really contribute much to the damage there, but is enough in order to secure that kill. And the Sanking also missed a couple of the pulses. It would have been nicer for them to catch out one or two, but if you're going to catch out one hero, that's the one hero to kill. The tier 1 tower also going to be taking quite a decent chunk of damage, and now they're going to find another Burrow Strike initiation, this time onto the Ogre. The Blink as well from the Tidehunter is going to land into the Anchor Smash. It's going to be a fairly easy kill. The Ancient Apparition Ice Blast lands onto 3 heroes, but there's nothing else to follow this up, so everybody's going to make it back towards their side of the map, although the Phantom Assassin is fairly low.
This is 2 Blink Daggers for Pain, soon to be 3. Of course, Phantom Assassin always has her Blink, so I guess that's kind of like 3, almost 4 Blink Daggers for the Pain side, and this is really the aggression point. This is where they start stuff, and Global Silence being used,
Misclick.
Global Silence was used. I don't really know why, but it definitely happened. Pain Gaming, they're not going to stop, though. They're going to get a land of Burst Strike onto Chorizo. Lots of magic damage into this Morphling, but with only 2 supports, they're not going to be able to get this kill. Pain now have all their Blink Daggers up, and this is terrifying for Argentinian rejects because I don't really know what they could do about this should they get initiated upon.
Why am I seeing allies in like a Blink Dagger call? Does that work?
Idea.
Huh, that's really peculiar. That should not be a thing. Up and top awareness gets crit down by the PA. One more Stifling Dagger will do him in. Juking through the trees, he's not going to make it out alive. As ADR finds himself a killing spree. And after a fairly slow start for this PA is right back where the PA wants to be. Although not as farmed as the Morphling, still comfortably farming in this game and getting more out of the map than the Slark after dying twice.
Yeah, 303, 2200 gold. Argentinian rejects are going to take a tower, but they are losing heroes slowly but surely. What do you think the PA's build is going to be? Never mind, that's
drums,
not a question anymore. It's going to be drums. Do you think it's going to be drums? I think it is.
I think it is going to be drums. Let's see.
We're Psychic. Bottom lane, though, that's where the action is going to happen because QQQ is going to get jumped upon. Pounce is going to land. He's waiting for a Ravage, though. It's going to land now on 2, but he will get blown up before he actually does anything else. Algodonchin dropping very low, but the rest of Argentinian rejects are here. Chorizo going to make a short jump for Billy, who's into the air with the Firefly, is not going to escape. I don't think. He shouldn't escape. There he goes down. Pain Gaming, they make the jump on the wrong person. As Argentinian rejects, they smell that one coming from a mile away.
Yeah, it was a nice Ravage from the Tidehunter, but Ravage without any follow-up is pretty much a wasted Ravage. I think it actually hit 4 heroes. And good news for Pain, their PA's been left alone up top with this 3-2 tower. She's not the fastest pushers, however, and is going to probably drop this to half before Argentinian rejects respond, but they're not responding. PA now is invis when there's nobody around, so maybe they don't even realize that their 2-2 tower up top is being taken.
Yeah, map awareness is pretty important against Phantom Assassin, but it seems like they just want to keep on going over on this bottom lane. Algodonchin's going to get jumped very low. Here comes the epicenter. I don't really know why the Slark went in all alone. I thought his allies would have been there if he was going to go in at all, but now it's going to be Baga, who's going to run curiously down towards the south. They're going to jump in onto Lubia, get him in the lasso. The Global Silence is available. I don't really know if it's going to be relevant, though. Blink forward from QQQ. One more hit. Smack him down. There you go. QQQ is going to get the kill. In the meantime, Billy, as well as Ogre Magi, dueling it up, but ADR is right on the Ogre's tail. Is going to bring him down, and Baga also secures the Ancient Apparition, or Tidehunter gets that kill, rather. That's going to be 4 kills for Pain. They absolutely demolish everyone on the bottom lane. Their Blink Daggers really coming in big, even without the Ravage.
Definitely, and 40R also came in to join that fight. Abandoning the push up top is completely fine. The tower's not in deny range, and it takes a lot of damage. Now they're going to be able to transition into a solid tower for them. And the Phantom Assassin now sitting on almost 2,000 gold. I have no idea what ADR's next item of choice is going to be, but it's going to have a pretty large impact. The Morphling, although higher in net worth than this PA, his effective items are less as he goes for this Hand of Midas. 2,100 gold on Chorizo. I think this is going to be a Linken's into Ethereal Blade game for him, but maybe he just rushes the F-Blade.
That won't be bad either, or just going for a Yasha Manta style maybe isn't going to be terrible either when you know that the enemy has a lot of single target initiation, maybe spreading out your illusions and trying to get value that way. I don't know. For this Morphling, any item is going to be severely delayed given the Hand of Midas, and even though the rest of the team is going to be able to apply a lot of pressure, he's going to be pretty much the odd one out. So for right now, Pain Gaming, since they do have all their Blink Daggers, they're going to be the ones constantly looking for these fights. And I think the next one should be happening over towards mid. Although Slark with the Shadow Blade, this is going to be a surprise for ADR. And I think this might be the death of the PA. Although Blur is pretty good, it might be enough to save him. He's going to get pounced upon, lots of damage onto him. Waveform as well. He's going to dodge the Waveform, in fact. Now the Phantom Assassin is going to look to someone to jump out. He's going to run straight into an Ice Blast. There goes the PA. The Firefly is not even up for Billy. He's going to drag Algodonchin back. Ned is going to save the Batrider for a little while longer. Now the Shallow Grave is going to be interrupted, but now the Ravage is going to connect onto 2. Algodonchin very quickly regenerating, but a nice 2-man Burrow Strike to follow. The Slark is still alive. He's going to go down eventually. Now Chorizo is going to try to teleport. He's going to make it out alive, but the Ogre may not be so lucky. Where the Blink Daggers, Bagas is getting interrupted by the Ignite, and they can't blink down to the low ground just yet. Looks like the Ogre is going to get gushed. I don't think they have anything else to chase. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade in the end, assuming the Ogre Magi survives, and it looks like he will. That was very, very messy, but I think overall even. Baga, though, might be going down. Ice Blast is going to be on the mark. Need one more hit to secure his death. I think he's going to die anyway. Yes, the Shatter is there with the Ignite. That's going to ultimately put this fight into Argentinian Reject's favor.
Yeah, it was a very weird initiation. Pain decided to jump in with their Batrider. I think if they left the Batrider off towards the right, and allowed the PA to blink towards the bat, I think that ADR might have been able to survive throughout that. Or at least his chances would have been a lot better. And the lasso did very little to nothing. It kind of delayed time to get the other heroes in position, but I don't know, it didn't pull very far, and everybody was able to survive for quite a large amount of time throughout that. Tidehunter is getting quite a bit of farm, but until Refresher, this is pretty much the cap of Tidehunter's ability to fight. The Ravage was nice as well. The Batrider, luckily enough for Pain, survives. It was just a very topsy-turvy fight. The real winner of it is going to be the Morphling, as he survives throughout the entirety of it and gets his ultimate orb, and now well on his way towards whatever item he chooses. Probably the Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, he might not be happily farming for very long, however, he does not have a replicate backup, and he is going to be pacing up against both the Sand King, who's channeling Epicenter, and the Tidehunter. There they jump in with the Burrow Strike onto Chorizo, another lasso for good measure. The Morphling's going to survive all of that. He's not going to live in its entirety, but he lasted a lot longer than I thought he would. They're going to get the kill anyway, and actually it's going to be Silencer, also taking quite a bit of damage, just going to be from creeps. Pain Gaming, they get a nice little pick up there. It costed them quite a bit, but it's on the Morphling, and really if you get a kill on the Morphling at all, you're going to be happy.
Yeah, it's actually quite a large swing, especially in the experience graph. That's 540 experience to all 3 of those heroes, and it's going to be especially very nice for the Sand King. He now has level 11. He might have had that before the fight. I think that was a level 11 Epicenter, actually. But either way, that is going to be a really nice pickoff for Pain. The Slark is continuing to push up top, Shadowblade in hand. I don't really like the Shadowblade choice coming up from Algodonchin. It, I don't know, more or less feels completely inferior to Blink Dagger in pretty much all respects as a positioning tool. The extra damage and attack speed is nice, but I don't think it's nice enough to avoid the instant positioning tool, especially when you're dealing with the likes of a Blink Dagger on the Batrider as well as the Sand King and Tidehunter. That blink could definitely save your life. Tier 1 mid is probably going to be falling in the favor of Pain. It's on the back lines. The Burrow Strike is going to land on Lubia. It's going to eat an Anchor Smash and just fall to the right clicks as well as the Sandstorm damage of these 3 heroes. And in the meantime, Tier 1 tower falls towards Pain. They're going to find a big win in the middle lane, giving up very little on the other sides of the map. I believe Slark also took the Tier 1 tower up in top.
Yeah, he did, but this Slark, really you don't go for this type of build on Slark if you're not actively looking for fights. Like, you could debate Blink Dagger, Shadowblade all day long, but the bottom line is that Slark isn't fighting, and that's what Slark does when he goes for these types of items. If he wanted to push out and try to be a split-pushing Slark, then you go for something like Hand of Midas, which would have made more sense given the way he's playing. So I think no matter what, the items and Slark's playstyle are kind of being mismatched, as Pain do take a nice little engagement over in the mid lane, kill off the Silencer, slowing down the Aghanims, and now they're going to go for a very fast Roshan as well. The Blur making it very difficult for Roche to fight back, and they do have Gush, and they do have a lot of survivability. They already wove up for ADR, so he's taking very little damage from this one. They're going to take Roshan without any sort of contest from ADR, and then they're going to be looking for probably more pickoffs. And speaking of pickoffs, Baga on the bottom lane, channeling Epicenter. Long Burrow Strike is going to miss, but Lubia's still going to take quite a bit of damage. Now the lasso, no Firefly, however, so this is actually entirely pointless. I don't really know what the plan was there for the Batrider. They use 2 ultimates on the Silencer, and they don't even bring him down to half HP.
Space Crate, I assume, as they do secure the Roshan. Algodonchin's looking to pounce in mid. Shadowblade's available now, and he's going to pop it. The Tidehunter might know that this is going on, or maybe he's just looking to blink and farm these Ancients. This could secure his demise. The Phantom Assassin's one to die up top. I am actually not sure how she fell. That was an Ogre Magi, presumably just getting a multicast. Tidehunter is not going to be jumped by the Slark as he sees too much backup. The Phantom Assassin is going to lose the Aegis, so the advantage that Pain got from that Roshan is going to be mitigated, although the golden experience is still going to be nice.
Yeah, the Morphling was there as well. He just jumped in and killed him off and then replicated down south, I think. didn't actually catch that one, as you usually don't expect those types of kills to be happening, especially with when a Phantom Assassin has BKB. QQQ is going to be the one in trouble. He's clearing out many Ancients, but Anchor Smash is not going to help you for very long. Global Silence is going to be used. The neutrals get the kill, and Algodonchin unfortunately cannot finish off this Ancient stack, so they invest a hell of a lot in order to kill a Tidehunter, and though he is dead, they don't really get the kill. And well, Algodonchin might get a couple of these Ancients, but it seems like Pain, they definitely know about this. The Blink Lasso is there. They don't have True Sight. Why don't you have True Sight, Pain?
I don't know. It happens every once in a while, where especially the Batrider and Sand King, these are two heroes that need to have that ability to catch out the invis units, the Slark in particular. Yeah, I just don't understand. Having a gem on your Batrider eventually is a nice choice. Now we have it picked up by the Sand King. So they are going to have that True Sight for the future, but it's going to cost him a kill on the Slark right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit annoying for them, but hey, if you get the gem eventually, hopefully that won't be a problem moving forward. They are going to play this a little bit slower than I really expected. ADR does have his BKB, and usually when you pick that item up, it's game time. Maybe he's a little bit on tilt because he just died when he really shouldn't have, so they kind of end up giving away the Aegis for free, but right now, they are farming with the Slark, they're farming with the Morphling, and this is exactly what they want to have happen. They're just going to play this super passively, get the Silencer a little bit more intelligence occasionally, get the Morphling more farm, and wait for Pain to come to them, because they're in no rush, whereas Pain, what are they waiting for? I mean, the Tidehunter is going for a Refresher Orb, which is nice, but it's so far away, and waiting for that seems a little bit unrealistic. Maybe it's just the mech on the Dazzle that they're waiting for?
I suppose so. Epicenter up top completely whiffs as Baga doesn't, Burrow Strike doesn't, Force Staff doesn't do anything after channeling it. Okay. Burrow Strike TP out.
Well, I mean, at least he didn't die, right? Kind of?
I suppose so. That's like the second Epicenter that's done, like, nothing. I don't know. Just not Baga's day, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, Epicenter, or Sand King play in general, is one where you have to know the limits of nighttime range, or nighttime vision range and daytime vision range. Like, if you channel it right outside of their nighttime vision range, you can very easily blink into Burrow Strike and punish someone or kill them off in a hurry, but if you're spotted, then you're not going to get much done. The Courier in a lot of trouble, actually, as Billy is going to be chasing that one down. He has used both his Blink and Force Staff, though, so the Courier is going to make it out alive. In the meantime, the rest of Pain, they're up on top lane where Algodonchin's roaming around. Where's the gem? It's on Baga, but they can't catch them. There he is, the Burrow Strike and the Gush and everything else. Crit? Oh, man, that Slark did not last long at all. No crits, but Anchor Smash is going to get the kill regardless. Now with Slark off the table, I think now you go as Pain. I mean, that has to be what they're waiting for, right? Just to pick off? I don't know. They're just kind of not doing anything when they could be doing so much.
Yeah, they have Ravage. I don't see why they're not fighting. They don't have Epicenter, which is not great for them. They'd love to have that extra bit of magical damage, but they still have plenty. Yeah, I don't really understand. The Slark, I think that was a pretty big misplay by him. They should have seen that gem on the Sand King, if at no other time, when the Sand King was running around. He could have juked that a lot better. Now Pain are going to group up down towards bottom, and Argentinian rejects aren't in the greatest of positions to defend against this. The Morphling's mid, no replicate available to jump into this fight, and the Silencer, although he'll still have his global ultimate, is going to be able to cast none of his other spells.
Looks like Pain, they're actually not going to go for this. They're seemingly very afraid, I would assume, of just the global silence, but I mean, they're not even roaming around looking for pickoffs. They might lose QQQ over in the bottom jungle area. He's going to Force Staff out and dodge most of the damage. Now the BKB on ADR is going to go straight towards that Ancient Apparition. Not many crits, but enough damage to kill off the AA regardless. Can they get anyone else? There's the blink attempt from Billy, but he's going to get multicasted down. He can't get anything out. That's going to be a 1-for-1. That should have been a free 1-for-0. They still have a Ravage, and they still have an Epicenter. But really, are you going to wait for your Batrider to die to go in? Like, this is the worst time to go. They should have went when they had all 5 heroes. This is terrible timing from Pain.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand it. Right now, they probably are going to end up backing off, but they don't seem to. They're going to farm up the enemy jungle. In the meantime, Argentinian rejects aren't getting anything else accomplished on the map either, so I suppose it's fine. Now we have the Basher on the Phantom Assassin. This has the potential of turning the fight if 4DR has RNG on his side, and that's kind of always the case for Phantom Assassin, with or without the Basher. The Lincoln Sphere is going to be of limited usefulness for the Morphling, as it's constantly being broken by 4DR's strike, but currently Ancient Apparition Ice Blast going to land on 4DR, barely clipping him on the edge, and they are going to back off. The Slark is currently stalking on the sidelines of the fight. The Shadow Blade's kind of nice for the extra bit of movement speed, but they have vision of him with the Gem of the Sand King.
Yeah, assuming everyone has relatively constant progression, I think this kind of stalled out game state does benefit Argentinian rejects. Like, even though Pain are farming very well, They have a lot of value on their Sand King and Tide, and I mean those heroes are nice with value, but they don't really get much stronger. The Phantom Assassin is doing very well, but Morphling's doing very well also, and Slark isn't farming, which is, I guess, okay for Pain to be not going for these objectives, but I don't know, I feel like they're just taking unnecessary risk by just not doing anything, because Tidehunter, Refresher Orb is going to be pretty much his power at its peak, and he's almost there.
Yeah, he's still about 700 gold, and at this point, it's worth it to wait for that. They might be able to go for a pickoff with the Batrider in the meantime. We'll just have to see. Ancient Apparition is currently being replicated by the Morphling. The replicate's following the Slark in case he bumps into anybody, but that's not going to be the case. Agadonshin is not going to be successful in his look for farm or for pickoffs. This Slark play has been, I don't know, of limited success. 2-5-2 is a very lackluster KDA to have on your Slark, and he's not farming that great either.
I think it's mostly because he's been trying to get stuff done just by himself or with one other person, and that's really not what you want to have happen. You want to be having your Slark roam around and look for kills as a group of 3 at the minimum, and otherwise your Slark is just going to run short. Chorizo is going to get initiated up on top lane. Basher is going to land once, but he's going to wait for him out regardless. Now the Ice Blast is going to come in, connect onto both Ned and ADR, going to drop them extremely low. Will not be lethal, but hey, Pain get probably more damage dealt to them than they actually deal to the Morphling. They have Mech and Shadow Wave and everything like that, but they're going to be so scared to take another fight, and Argentinian Rejects aren't going to be waiting any longer. They're smoked up, and they are looking for blood. There is no Global Silence, though, so once again, we find ourselves in a time where teams want to fight, but they really shouldn't.
Yeah, Algodonchin is currently Shadowbladed up, and they might find themselves a Tidehunter, although his backup is very far away. The Ogre is the second closest, no Force Staff or Blink on the Ogre. Getting in position is going to be difficult, especially if you're Mist Bounce. Blink 4 step away, then the Tidehunter will probably keep himself safe. And yeah, that's going to be all she wrote.
I mean, Shadowblade seems like a decent item to use for those types of situations. I don't know, but I mean, why would you get it if you don't initiate it like that? Like, that's exactly what the item is supposed to be used for. You get the kills with the Shadowblade. You don't just run in and use Shadowblade to escape. So, yeah, this game is just all sorts of messy. Like, I've seen these players play so much better, but I feel like something is just going severely wrong here. Or they're respecting something that really they shouldn't be respecting as much, like Global Silence or AoE from Pain or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Global Silence is a scary tool, and we don't see Silencer that much in play, and sometimes people underestimate it, but I think Pain are giving it a little bit too much credit. Even if they stop Tidehunter Ravage from coming out beforehand, it's unlikely that Tide is going to be stopped from getting that Ravage off. I think the largest thing that can be shut down by the Global Silence is the channeling of the Epi coming out from the Sand King, and even without that, they have plenty of damage to take the fights. I don't really understand. Ethereal Blade now on the Morphling, however, Argentinian Rejects are getting a lot out of the specificity coming out from Pain Gaming. This Morphling is pretty much hitting his peak, or not really his peak, he still has a lot of room to grow, but he's become relevant in the team fights. Previously, he'd survived, but he wasn't doing that much damage. Now he's going to be a very potent damage threat.
Yeah, so Pain Gaming, they're kind of just digging their own grave right now as they're very slowly looking for these objectives. Now they're finally going to go, but Chorizo has a shiny new Ethereal Blade and he wants to use it. QQQ is smoked up and he does have a Ravage available, and now Pain, they're going to look for an angle, but they can't go on this Morphling with the Batrider. That just simply won't work because of the Lincoln Sphere. And now Morphling, it's actually the Slark up on top lane is going to be pushing that one out. Pain, like, there's no one here defending for Argentinian Rejects, but they're terrified. Like, what are they doing? I have no idea, honestly, why Pain aren't going for these objectives. They could easily take them, as Argentinian Rejects aren't even going to fight for them.
Yeah, right now their map vision is very limited aggressively on the enemy side of the map. They have decent vision around the river and the Roshan pit as well as inside the jungle, but outside of that, Pain are more or less completely blind. So he didn't know the Morphling's missing, and this might cost the Sand King his life if he decides to farm. Right now, Baga is channeling the Epicenter. He's going for this solo onto the Slark. I don't think he can kill off Algodonchin. Algodonchin Shadow Dance, and it's going to be enough damage, just barely. Global Silence comes out incredibly late. Now looking for the bash. They find it onto Teresa. Teresa is in a bit of trouble here. The Lincoln Sphere has been popping. He's got to turn around onto the Batrider, getting that kill fairly easily. He's still strength morphing. He's now currently sitting at a lot of HP. That doesn't matter when you get crit down by ADR. And suddenly, Baga gets a double kill off of, I don't know, what I thought was a questionable initiation, but apparently not.
Yeah, Slark actually doesn't have that many ways of surviving that, assuming he's completely stun locked. Like, he's slippery hero for sure, but Burst is the best way to bring him down. If you catch him with the Epicenter, that's level 2. Burst is what you're going to be delivering. The Morphling did use his full shotgun combo on the Batrider previously. However, it was just short of enough damage, and Argentinian rejects, I mean, like, they wait for all this time, and then they send two heroes out to just go by themselves. Like, they have a little bit of support from Silencer AA, but it seems like, again, another questionable move from the Argentinian rejects. Like, there's no reason to go for those types of plays right next to an enemy tier 2 tower. You're clearly going to be facing up against more than you bargained for because of TP support.
Sand King is going to invest even heavier into the burst. Right now, Baga as well as QQ are going to be having a little bit of party on the hill as Baga 4 staffs away and TP away from the Tidehunter is going to keep everything safe. But Sand King is going to decide to build a Dagon. I'm okay with this. The Morphling is unlikely to keep that Lincoln Sphere for very long. Between 4 staffs as well as Stifling Daggers flying, it's not really protecting him that much, and the burst damage is going to be pretty nice up against him, although he's not going to make himself ethereal when he uses the shotgun. If he is fully strength morphed, it's still going to, or agility morphed, excuse me, it's still going to do quite a large amount of damage, not to mention the Slark, who currently has no HP items, with the exception being the Ogre Club.
Yeah, and you could usually go for some different items if you're looking to do more damage as a Sand King, most notably Aghanim Scepter and Veil of Discord, but this game really isn't a Veil game for Pain. It'll amplify the Tidehunter Ravage, which is useful, but most of the other heroes on Pain are going to be physical-ish, so not really the best way to go. And Aghanim Scepter, though it does increase your ultimate, if you're looking to kill off just one person, and that's exactly what he's looking to do, kill off the Slark, then you might as well just go for this Dagon. And I actually, yeah, I think I like this item too. Like, it's very rare that I would say I'd like a Dagon pickup on a Sand King, but I think this is the game to do it. They're going to clean up Roshan pretty easily, Pain, and I mean, hell, if they don't go after an Aegis and a Refresher Orb on Tide, then they're never going to go at all. There's also a Phantom Assassin with quite a lot of net worth, Basher, and now a fresh Eagle Song. Maybe Butterfly is worth waiting for, but I don't know. Baga and Billy, they're both going to jump onto Algodonchin. Burrow Strike, Epicenter is going to be charged up perfectly. That was a very smooth gank. I actually really like how they did that, and they're going to get a kill.
Yeah, didn't even use the Dagon. I think it's probably worth just zapping him either way. It was, yeah, just right on point. It was a very nice, clean kill that they're able to get. Waveform comes up from the Morphling. He has a double damage, which is really scary for Pain, but he doesn't get to put that to good use, and that's going to wear off before they fight next, it seems. Tier 2 tower down in bottom is probably not long for this world, as I'm not sure that Argentinian rejects are actually interested in defending it. It's already pretty darn low, and they're fighting up into double Ravage, as well as a double life on your Phantom Assassin.
Well, they haven't been interested in defending it, but Pain have not known about that. I mean, with the Bat Rider, you should know most of the time what you're facing up against, but for whatever reason, Pain, they're playing it so slowly, and I mean, it's fine because they're still getting farm, but it's kind of unnecessary for them. I mean, the rest of their teammates are all spread out around the map and farming. Once again, we're going to be finding ourselves in just a really passive game state, and this is going to be benefiting the Morphling a lot more than it really should. Morphling versus PA, if it does come to just them being the late game juggernauts, then Morphling with the Ethereal Blade is going to get a nice jump on the Phantom Assassin, but now with the Butterfly, unless Morphling picks up an MKB, he's not going to be able to win any sort of late game duels.
Yeah, and I think that's, right now, the reason why Pain should go ahead and just go. Because right now, Argentinian rejects, their damage into this Phantom Assassin is already fairly limited. As far as magic is concerned, you have the multicast coming up from the Ogre Magi, but this evasion is going to be canceling the majority of the other heroes' damage. Showing Touch isn't going to help you as much. You're going to have the Silencer right clicks that are also going to be avoided, the Morphling as well as the Slark. Right now, this Phantom Assassin, once she pops BKB, is more or less immortal, although they don't have any lifesteal, and I'd love to see a Vladimir's offering picked up by anybody on the side of Pain. That's probably going to be the PA's next item of her own. Currently going very aggressive into the base, and she'll find an awareness. No ultimate's going to be available. Now going to the Ogre. 4DR wants to make this Aegis, or not the Aegis, but the BKB charge worthwhile. They just can't do anything about this. Dire structures are going to be fortified as Morphling's pushing down mid, but I think they can just keep on going down in bottom, although they backed off quite a few of their heroes. Dazzle and Sand King are up in top in No Man's Land, and Bat Rider is in mid. They're going to have to play passively yet again, and they're going to find initiation onto the poor Tidehunter. Global Silence as well. He is going to be unsilenced 4 staff away, and a Blink Dagger coming off of cooldown should keep the Tidehunter safe.
And now it's going to be the Ogre Magi in a lot of trouble. The Bashes are going to come through for ADR. He's going to annihilate the Ogre, and he still has Tidehunter in the area with double Ravage. If Phantom Assassin wants more, she'll get more. QQQ is still being chased down. Where the hell are the rest of Pain? It's Bat Rider to fall near his own jungle. I don't know what happened there. Morphling got the kill. Now Algodonchin getting hit with 1 Ravage. QQQ and ADR might get hit with this Ice Blast. No, they're both going to dodge it. The Pain Gaming, they were just fighting with 2 heroes. Like, this is pretty much just Phantom Assassin and Tidehunter both just annihilating all of Argentinian rejects. If they had everyone there, they could have easily breached high ground. And I mean,
yeah,
maybe we're just a little bit restless because we've been waiting so long for this game, but I honestly think that Pain Gaming are just stalling out for absolutely no freaking reason.
Yeah, and they're also opening themselves up to getting picked off like the Batrider by the Morphling. It was a fairly easy pickoff for him. He was using his replicant to scout, just replicate it in, and then shotgun, that's a dead Batrider. No BKB available for him yet. Yeah, I really just don't understand it. It might be a little bit of overkill. Epicenter up top is going to completely miss again. No, the force half into Burst Strike is going to land Chorizo, but there's no way he's getting this kill. It's going to force the Morphling to strength morph a little bit, but not even that much. Ice Blast misses, and Baga is going to be safe because of it.
And you can, at this point, not get kills on the Morphling if you're Sand King. Like, you just don't have enough, and Morphling is actually level 22. He's pretty freaking stacked with 4,700 gold in the bank. Killing him off is going to require, at the very least, a Phantom Assassin plus one more. Like, I don't think any other combination of Pain heroes at this point are going to cut it any longer. So, Morphling's getting to that point, and did he just buy an MKB? I sure hope he did. No, it's going to be an ultimate orb item of some sort for Chorizo. I mean, I have Scotty is a fantastic item on Morphling, which I assume he's going to be going for, but you need some way to deal with this Butterfly PA, because your burst damage probably isn't high enough.
Yeah, I think that's fair. There's just not anything else that's going to keep him man fighting. The other heroes aren't really bothering Chorizo that much as far as damage is concerned. The Epicenter dropped Morphling fairly low and forced him to Strength Morph, but that's about all he can do. The Phantom Assassin's his real foe. Now with the Abyssal Blade, his life just got a whole lot harder. Blink Strike, Abyssal Blade onto Chorizo. He gets a crit onto a creep as he stops right-clicking onto the Morphling. With a lot of armor as well as a decent amount of strength, Chorizo's going to be completely fine.
And the Aegis times out, so Pain, they piss away their Aegis advantage. They don't really go really aggressively at all towards Argentinian rejects. Like, they go on the bottom lane a little bit, but that was pretty much just ADR doing stuff by his own. Like, they didn't go with an Aegis. They didn't go once they had a refresher orb on the Tidehunter. Are they going to go now after they just lose their Aegis? Like, this is making absolutely no sense. They're going to find Ancient Apparition, and he's not going to stand a chance. And now this should be go time, right? Right? Guys,
maybe.
Go time? Please?
It doesn't look like it. I mean, they're getting good farm out of the map, and the Slark isn't farming at all. At this point, usually Slark's a pretty potent threat with one or two big items, but he just has the BKB and the Shadow Blade. He's able to survive and potentially get an initiation, but the Shadow Blades felt pretty lackluster, and he doesn't have anything to help him hit harder. No Basher, no Scotty, nothing of the sort. So this Slark is more or less ignorable throughout the team fights, as he's not really going to be able to do anything. Group up in mid to take this tier 2 tower, comes out from Pain with the Sand King and Tidehunter waiting on the high ground. There's nothing Argentinian rejects can do about this, and maybe they'll keep on going, but they're going to play it safe yet again. All of the ultimates are available for Argentinian rejects, and now they work without the double life on the Phantom Assassin. I suppose if you're not going to go with Aegis, you're not going to go without it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, as unfortunate as it is to say. I mean, that was so easy from Pain. Like, they had all the backup in the area. Batrider didn't even use Firefly. He wasn't even looking, because I honestly don't think they expected a defense from Argentinian rejects. Yet they're going to back off regardless, and, you know, maybe get another item on ADR. Maybe some lifesteal on this PA would make her life a little bit easier. A Dagon 5 is certainly a fun item, but not really worth waiting for. A Batrider with BKB, is that going to be the trigger to make them go? I honestly have no idea. I mean, this game is defying all sense of logic and reason, as they're just wasting so many opportunities to get stuff done. Even though they are getting a lot of farm, there's no reason to sit back and farm when you could go and take Raxes.
Yeah, I mean, the jump in power in these items on their other 4 heroes, other than the Phantom Assassin, are nice, but they're not huge. Like, an Aghanim Scepter on the Dazzle is going to be useful, especially when you're dealing with a very high hero of the Morphling. Taking away 20 or so of that, if you're able to get it off in the beginning of the teamfight, it's going to make the PA's life a lot easier. Next item for PA is going to be a completed Helmet of the Dominator. They do have the lifesteal now on the Phantom Assassin, but at this point, PA is pretty much capped out in effectiveness. She'll get the Satanic and maybe another damage item on top of this, but for all intents and purposes, Abyssal BKB, Butterfly Helmet of the Dominator PA, it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, you can't really accelerate from this point any longer, and hell, we've been mentioning so many points where Pain Gaming should be going. If they don't go after a 6-slot Phantom Assassin, then that's just them throwing the game. Like, she's literally not going to get any stronger unless you want to pick up something like a Divine Rapier, and this is not a Rapier game yet for either side, so that'll just be really stupid. I don't know, it just seems like they're just not willing to fight. This is like pacifist Dota. It's like they agreed, 45-minute no rush.
If you're gonna do that, why not pick Naga or Medusa? Like, I don't understand. Like, Maybe this wasn't the game plan from the start, and they wanted to play aggressively. I'm not sure what's stopping them, though. Like, it is risky to jump in. Like, there's always the risk that Argentinian Rejects have the people in the perfect positions to counter-initiate. Down and top, we are going to see the Dagon as well as the Epicenter completely blowing up the Slark. Please go do something. That something might be Roshan, and lucky enough for them, it's kind of a middle-of-the-road timer, not too late, but it looks like they're going to wait for the next stages. So this Slark pickoff isn't going to be the most impactful, although still nice.
This is really exciting Dota. It really is. Like, I'm having just the time of my life right now. ADR is going to pick a fight with Chorizo. He's going to land the Abyssal Blade, and now here comes the lasso from the Batrider. Chorizo, he's going to take so much damage, and he will go down at the very tail end of that one. There is a buyback on the Morphling, and Pain Gaming should be pushing, at the very least, to force this buyback out. They don't have a lasso, which is a little bit unfortunate, as that's their best initiation tool, but they have double Ravage. Really, even if the Morphling does buy back, the only thing that they have to worry about is a double Global Silence now from the Silencer. And if they went earlier, they would only face up against one Global Silence. And they force the buyback, and they're going to back off pretty much in time for Roshan.
Yeah, I mean, this back off makes sense to me. They forced out the Morphling buyback after getting a pick, and now Roshan's going to be available to them. But, it's still iffy. We now have a Dagon 4 on the Sand King, which is going to be kind of nice. Blowing up the likes of the Ancient Apparition is going to be so easy. If they get like one auto attack from the PA and then the Dagon zap, that's going to be a dead AA, with or without a crit. With a crit, I think this PA is going to be one-shotting the AA. He has 10 armor, which is 37% resist, and PA is critting for, come on, get a crit so I can see. 1500, yeah, easy kill.
How much armor do these golems have? Yeah, they have 4 armor, so yeah, that should be a very easy kill. One shot kill on the Ancient Apparition. Everyone else on the Argentinian Rejects are slightly tankier as far as health is concerned. Yeah, so everyone else is going to be more or less safe from the one-hit KO, but hell, when we're counting one-hit KOs, then we know that things are getting really bad for Argentinian Rejects. Like, you never should be in that range.
Slark has less than 1400 HP and only 6 armor. That's less than what the Ancient Apparition has, and the Ogre has about the same as the Ancient Apparition, but less HP than the Slark. Like, one Stifling Dagger and then a crit is probably going to one-cycle them. And if you're getting two-shotted, that's almost as bad. But it is lots of fun to watch a crit, blood splatter, and then a gone hero. Roshan is going to be taken. That's Aegis on your PA, Cheese onto the Tidehunter, presumably, and it should be go time for Pain. If they kill off the Morphling, he's not going to be there, as he won't have buyback available, and they'll know this. This is, for all intents and purposes, your maxed out PA. Satanic Aegis, and now they kill the Slark. There is no reason for them to wait.
It literally does not get any better than this. I mean, Baga and Chorizo have been sitting right next to each other up on top lane for like
double
the past
size now,
minute or something, and they haven't done anything because they haven't seen each other. But Slark down is, I mean, it's not the most impactful hero at this point. He's died 10 freaking times, and he's closer to the bottom than he is to the top of the net worth chart, and I mean, he's a Slark. You want to be near the top. But Pain Gaming, oh my god. Is it finally happening? Are they actually going to go ahead and play this game the way it's supposed to be played? Bog up on top lane is putting himself in unnecessary risk. He's getting hit with the multicast, and now one of the global silences is going to be used. They're going to kill off the Sand King, but it's a global silence used just for that. I don't think that's worth it. Here comes the Phantom Assassin, wants in on awareness, should be diving this. There's the Ghost after saving him from a potential one-hit crit, but now the Ravage is going to connect, and Ogre Magi is going to go down, as will the Ancient Apparition. He has another Ravage available as well. Chorizo is going to be spotted out. Lubia, he's going to TP because Batrider, for whatever reason, is not going to flame break him. Chorizo, though, is going to get hexed up, plus bashed down by the Abyssal Blade. Crits of 500, not quite enough to insta-kill him, but he's still taking quite a lot of damage. Where's the second Ravage? There it is, going to connect onto both Chorizo and Lubia. That's the death of the Morphling. He has no buyback. Lubia is on the way out, and I think that means in the body bag, he's going to go down. Here comes Algodonchin. We'll try to kill off Billy, but the Shallow Grave is going to prevent that from happening. He's in the BKB, but he's going to get hit with the crit. I think that was actually a one-hit kill. That's everyone from Argentinian Rejects dead. It only took them like 30 minutes more than it really should have.
Yeah, this should be at least 2 sets of Rex, if not game. I don't think there's anything that Argentinian Rejects can do to get them out of the base. Both of their global silences are on cooldown, and despite not having any Ravages, they will have the Epicenter as well as the Batrider Lasso initiation. That's probably plenty. Right now, 4DR is not hitting any buildings or anything of the sort, and potentially looking for a base dive. He's going to be pushing top while the rest of his team pushes out mid. Pain are in a perfect situation. Even though they took it slow and safe, they've probably taken it too safe, in fact. They're still going to be able to close this out, it seems, unless a miracle comes out from Argentinian Rejects. They just don't have the ultimates in order to do it. If they had the likes of a Magnus and maybe some way to cleave, we're going to see the Ancient Apparition jumped upon by the PA. I think that was just a dagger crit.
Yeah, it was the Ghost Scepter. I think maybe just a regular hit from Phantom Strike, and well, Ghost Scepter is used by Ancient Apparition, and generally you want to use Ghost Scepter when you're dropped low, so you could get away from the rest of the damage, but you have to just use it as soon as you see the Phantom Assassin in your area, or else you're just going to die. That's going to be mid lane taken, should be top lane taken as well. In Argentina Rejects, they have no global silences right now. Algodonchin's going to try to go in. That's pretty hopeful on the Tidehunter. Lots of damage on him regardless, and he doesn't have any Ravages. He's going to get Force Staff down to the low ground. In the meantime, ADR going to go straight for the Ogre Magi. Now going to stun off Awareness and go for Luby at the exact same time. That's 2 down. That's going to be very quickly 3 down. It's a triple kill for ADR. Where's the Slark? Slark is getting killed by everyone else in the meantime. With only the Morphling to respawn in 13 seconds, this is going to be game.
Pretty much. The Phantom Assassin was actually fairly unlucky with her crits, but it didn't matter. She's still hitting like a truck. And they're going to Fountain Dive. There's nothing they can do about this. 4DR can't die to the Fountain. Pops the Lincoln Sphere, going to go aggressively on the Chorizo. Bashes him. Epicenter is, well, no Epicenter. Just the Burrow Strike as well as the Dagon. And 4DR is going to Fountain Dive this. So the Chorizo is going to survive for quite a bit longer. Now Billy is in a bit of trouble. Waveform over to the side. There's going to be an Adaptive Strike onto Baga. They're looking for the crits. Chorizo die before the Ancient does, and they will get the Beyond Godlike Streak for 4DR. No mercy for Chorizo.
Man, it's about time. It was so easy. Like, they were facing up against double global silence at the end, which was unnecessarily given to Argentina Rejects, but Pain, after 48 minutes of excruciatingly gruesome gameplay, they win the game. And this is a best of 3, so we're going to be moving on to game number 2, guys. Hopefully it starts at a reasonable time, and hopefully it ends at a reasonable time as well, because this game was just so frustrating to watch.